The unexamined life is not worth living. To be is to do. To do is to be. He who has a reason to live can bear almost any how. Man is condemned to be free, because once thrown into the world, he is responsible for everything he does. It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live. One cannot step into the same river twice. Happiness is not an ideal of reason, but of imagination. To think is easy, to act is hard. But the hardest thing in the world is to act in accordance with your thinking. Our life is what our thoughts make it. The greatest happiness is to know the source of unhappiness. To risk is to lose one's footing momentarily. Not to risk is to lose oneself. Man is the measure of all things. Liberty consists in doing what one desires. Life must be understood backwards, but it must be lived forward. The only thing I know is that I know nothing. To live without hope is to cease to live. The function of prayer is not to influence God, but rather to change the nature of the one who prays. The more man meditates upon good thoughts, the better will be his world and the world at large. The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing. Freedom is secured not by the fulfilling of one's desires, but by the removal of desire. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. The mind is everything. What do you think you will become? If you would be a real seeker after truth, it is necessary that at least once in your life you doubt as far as possible all things. One's philosophy is not best expressed in words, it is expressed in the choices one makes. Happiness depends upon ourselves. The only way to make sense out of change is to plunge into it, move with it, and join the dance. All men's souls are immortal, but the souls of the righteous are immortal and divine. The greatest wealth is to live content with little. Doubt is the origin of wisdom. Wonder is the beginning of wisdom. Real knowledge is to know the extent of one's ignorance. Virtue is nothing else than the right reason. Leisure without study is death, a tomb for the living person. To be content with little is hard, to be content with much, impossible. It is the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it. The life of money-making is one undertaken by compulsion, and wealth is evidently not the good we are seeking, for it is merely useful and for the sake of something else. You cannot solve a problem with the same mind that created it. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Time is the most valuable thing a man can spend. Life shrinks or expands in proportion to one's courage. Truth is the daughter of time, not of authority. The only true wisdom is knowing that you know nothing. The secret of happiness, you see, is not found in seeking more, but in developing the capacity to enjoy less. If men were born free, they would, so long as they remained free, form no conception of good and evil. The measure of a man is what he does with power. There is only one good, knowledge, and one evil, ignorance. I think, therefore I am. No man's knowledge here can go beyond his experience. We are born weak, we need strength; helpless, we need aid; foolish, we need reason. All that we lack at birth, all that we need when we come to man's estate, is the gift of education.
Remember, every small step you take brings you closer to your goals. Stay motivated and keep growing. Until next time, keep shining and keep striving for greatness.